Hello and welcome to Business Points on Global Television. My name is Ubong Osoro. And here's a deep dive into the major business and economic stories shaping Nigeria today. The first story we have on Business Points is Bank seeks renew revenue channels as FX gains fade. Alright, so the Nigerian banking sector is undergoing a major shift after months on relying on foreign exchange revaluation gains triggered by earlier depreciation of the naira. Banks are now facing a new reality. All right, so FX gains are drying up and those easy profits are no longer available for the Nigerian bank at this time. All right, so the Nigerian banking sector is actually seeing some level of a major shift because there's been a lot of foreign exchange revaluation gains that were triggered by the depreciation of the naira. But of recent, we've seen the naira getting towards being stabilized, and the FX market is drying up, and those so easy profits that we're seeing by the banks are no longer available at this time. All right, so a report by Maritime Securities show that as the naira stabilizes, the extraordinary profits banks made from FX position last year have reduced sharply because there's been more stability with the naira in recent times. All right, so we've been seeing the naira in the past 6-7 months being at 1,400, 1,500. There's been some level of stability with the naira, and this is leading to the FX being sharply reduced as to what was happening last year. So as the naira continues to stabilize, the extraordinary profits that banks were making from FX position at this time last year have been reduced sharply. It's been reduced sharply. In fact, some banks recorded losses or very minimal FX revaluation gains in the last quarter of this year. All right, so to stay profitable, banks are now aggressively expanding new revenue lines, and we're seeing 4 major strategies that some banks are doing. Right, so we've seen some bringing in higher interest income with benchmark interest rates high. Banks are earning more from loans and government securities. So that's one way banks are actually earning money at the time. And also there's this digital and e-banking expansion. More emphasis is now placed by banks on mobile apps, USSD charges, card charges, and online transfer charges. And fees and commission is the third way banks are, trying to loosen up on this FX, downgrade that they're having at the moment. Fees and commission, including trade finance, advisory services, electronic channels, and cross-border payments, is one of the ways that banks are trying to get money at this time. Then we could also talk about the balance sheet optimization, where banks are reconstructing and restructuring their loan books, clearing up bad debts, and re-evaluating risk at this time, right? So the story that we're having is that banks are seeking new revenue channel as the FX gain that was one of the mainstay of the banking sector is at an all-time low with the naira stabilizing. So we're seeing more higher interest rates by some banks now. Maybe you're getting a loan of for loans. Some banks are doing double digits at the moment. Some banks are saying okay 20%, some are saying 15%, 18%, or whatever is the choice of the bank. But higher interest rates is what we are seeing at this particular time. The interest rates are still very high from the banks, and they hope to get more right from loans and government securities. We've also seen banks expand their digital footprints with e-banking. There's more emphasis now on bank apps, right? So as you download those apps, bank could also make money from the process of downloading. Of course, the USSD charges. A lot of Nigerians have also complained about these USSD charges, but this is one of the ways that the banks are trying to major up at this time with FX, markets giving them some issues, right? So the banks are relying on the USSD charges. For me personally, I know the many times I use the USSD, and at any time you are charged maybe 6.5 naira or thereabout. So you could imagine if you're using it up to 10 times in a day, that's 6.5 times 10, right? So you just do the math for yourself, and you get to understand that this is one of the ways that banks are trying to stay afloat at this time. USSD charges, card charges, saying, all right, so you have a transfer card, a debit card, a credit card. you pay 1,500, 2,000, but whatever is the case, and online transfers, as you transfer money online, the bank also gets some commissions from that. There's also fees and commission where trade finance is one of the ways that the banks are making money at this time. Advisory services, where they advise companies, electronic channels, cross-border payment. Maybe you're transferring money from the US to Nigeria at this time. That's one of the ways that the banks are trying to stay up afloat and make some money at this particular time, looking at the fact that the FX has dropped and they're not making as much money as they used to make from the FX because the Naira is stabilizing. All right, so we've also talked about the balance sheet optimization, where banks are restructuring their loan books, clearing up bad debt, and re-evaluating risk as they try to move into 2026. But analysts are saying that this transition is healthy for the Nigerian banking system, and it moves the bank from windfall profits to organic and sustainable earnings. Let's talk about this now, because with the FX, you could make as much as 200%, 300%, 400% profit, as to maybe 100 billion naira in a day, right, with the FX market, because the banks get the FX, people get the FX from the bank, get it from CBN at a subsidized rate. Nigerians get it from the bank at some level, and they make the profit. So every day there's a windfall profits. The margin just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. But it's experts are saying that that is not a sustainable way to stay in business, because you need to be more organic and sustainable. Okay, so and these other channels that the banks, maybe the loan, we could complain that the interest rate is high, but they make money out of there. The electronic transfer, the bank apps, the USSD is more sustainable and organic earning for the banks going forward. But also one that now banks must rely on heavy investment in cyber security, digital infrastructure, and customer experience, because this is also very nice. If you are trying to move your markets from the physical markets of the FX, where people get the foreign exchange and do business, and you are moving into that digital space, you have to invest in cybersecurity, because a lot of blueprints, a lot of fingerprints of people, a lot of footprints of people will be into your platform. You have to ensure that your customer details, their personal details, is safe on that particular platform, right? So if the bank brings out a particular app and say this is the app for our bank, people will be registering, right? And in the process of registering, they will put in information, their age, their location, where they live, and all of those information. Those are critical information that the banks must protect, and this will lead them to investing in cybersecurity, digital infrastructure, and even customer experience, because people want to have a good time strolling to the different apps on that particular bank app, right? And having a good user and consumer experience, or risk falling behind in the fast changing financial landscape. All right, so the banks are saying, right, let us reevaluate our money-making progress and process at this time, because of the fact that the FX market is not as profitable as it used to be, because the Naira is stabilizing. It is healthy for our system. Yes, we are moving from windfall profits to organic and sustainable earnings, but the banks must stand up to the occasion and make sure that heavy investment is done in cybersecurity, digital infrastructure, and customer experience. So let's take the next story this morning, the next business point story that we have for you. Energy tariff and power shortages hurt manufacturing. Sector warns of deepening crisis. All right, so the story says energy tariff and power shortages hurt manufacturing. Sector warns of deepening crisis. So the television, we rely heavily on power to be able to do our business, and for those who rely heavily on power to be able to do business, it is quite struggling for them at this time because of energy shortages and the prices they have to pay for tariff. And the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is warning that the sector continues to struggle under the weight of the rising operating costs. So MAN, as it is known, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, reports that energy tariff, especially for those who are using band A, industrial users who are using band A, have completely gone up significantly. Also saying that power supply remains largely unstable and many factories run on diesel for up to 18 hours a day. And they're saying that the cost of sales have increased by over 90% in some subsectors, right? That's actually on a good note. But on the other end, we've talked about credit to manufacturing has dropped to 7.7 trillion, down nearly by 10%. Manufacturers say the math is no longer adding up. They're spending more on diesel, more on electricity, more on raw material, and more on logistics. Yet the profit margins continue to shrink at this time. A number of firms report that they're operating far beyond capacity, and some are considering layoff or temporary shutdown at the moment. All right, so the story is from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, who are complaining that band A industrial users are paying slightly more than they should pay because the power supply in Nigeria remains unstable and many factories are running on diesel from up to 18 hours in a day. They are also saying that the cost of sales have increased, yes, by 90% in some subsectors, which is highly commendable, but there's been a drop in 7.7 trillion naira, nearly 10% in doing business. There's been a drop. Manufacturers are saying that the math is no longer adding up. They are spending more on diesel, more on electricity, more on raw material, and more on logistics. Yet the profit margins have risen, but when you compare it with the things they have to spend with, right? Spending with energy tariff, shortages, and all of that, it becomes very worrisome for those who are doing business in Nigeria and those who are thinking of doing business in Nigeria. All right, so a number of firms report that they are operating far beyond capacity, and some of these firms are already considering layoff of staff or temporary shutdown. Some experts are saying that Nigeria may see reduced output from key sectors, especially sectors that need 24-hour power supply to run: the cement sector, textile, beverages, pharmaceutical, and steel industry. Prices of essential goods may rise if the government does not do something about the cost of doing business in band A in the country at this time. And the country may lose its competitiveness to other West African regional markets like Benin, markets like Ghana, markets like Cameroon, if industrialists no longer involve and produce in Nigeria because of the cost of doing production in Nigeria, especially the cost of energy. The cost of energy, especially those who are doing business on the band A. Right, so the industrialists are calling on the government to review electricity tariff hike, improve gas supply to power plants, provide concessionary credit to manufacturers, stabilize the FX markets for import-dependent industries, and without these steps, the recovery of the rail sector may remain slow and fragile. All right, so that is what the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is saying at this time, calling on the government to review electricity tariff and the tariff hike at this time, especially for those who are into manufacturing, improve gas supply to power plants to power those plants, which will also in turn give power to those who are doing business in that particular line, provide concessionary credit to manufacturers, and stabilize the FX market for import-dependent industries. And they're saying that without the steps, the recovery, which the sector has done some recovery, they've made some more money, 90% more than what they made in the previous year, may not be feasible and may not be long-standing and sustainable if all of these things are not put into place. Let's go for a short break, and when we're back, Business Point continues. Nigerian developers have been urged to tap into 101 billion December spending boom. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business Point on Global Television, where we talk business and discuss business and every morning. Today on the program, we've been looking at some business stories, and the next story we have now is that developers have been urged to tap into the 111 billion December spending boom. And it's December, and spending is actually up at the moment. Property consultants estimate that Nigeria will spend over 111 billion naira this month on real estate related activities, including land purchases. A lot of people are going to be buying land, short-let apartment rentals, renovation and home upgrades, holiday accommodations, and the spike is actually driven by end of the year bonuses, which a lot of people get from their businesses at this time. A lot of people used to get end of the year bonuses, increased diaspora remittances. People who are abroad will be sending in more money into Nigeria at the time, and seasonal travel, those who will be coming into Nigeria. Weddings and celebration is also up in the air. There will be a lot of weddings and celebration, higher consumer activity at the time, and the real estate sector say that this is the best time for developers to launch new products, especially affordable unit and flexible payment plan for middle income earners. So developers are urged and advised to focus on studio apartments, short-let lodges, compact residential estates, fast developing outskirts around cities. And this December boom, they say, is an opportunity to drive sales before the traditionally slowly months of February and January and February. But let's stay on this and talk a little bit about this particular boom that is happening, will be happening in the real estate sector, a sector that developers are seeing that about 111 billion will be invested in that particular sector, and property consultants are estimating that Nigerians will spend that's more than 111 billion naira this month on some of these things: real estate related activities, land purchases. Those who some persons will be coming in from different parts of the world, coming to visit family and friends, coming to spend time with relatives and all of that, and they may go. All right, so let's go for a short break. We'll be right back.
Patriotism, true responsible citizenship and leadership. And I can see our royal father of the day, His Highness Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, the Emir of Sokoto, the Emir of Kano, pardon me, Sakin Kano. You're highly welcome. Please, would like you all to please be seated. Good to see the Honorable Minister of State, FCT. My auntie, we were together on Saturday. It was such a pleasure. It's good to have you again. I see the ambassador, the EU ambassador to Nigeria, and the Cuban ambassador. You're highly welcome to Nigeria. We love you. If you're proud to be a Nigerian and you're here, can you please put your hands together for yourselves? You all deserve a big and a better applause. I see the national youth leader of the All Progressive Congress Party, the largest party in West Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my brother, Dr. Dayo Israel. Yeah, Mr. Idris. Mr. Idris. And we have the Honorable Minister of Information, Mr. Idris Mohammed. You're highly welcome.
You know, Shay, I've always said that as a Nigerian, I'm a flag-carrying member of Nigeria. From our music to be performed today by my younger brother, Timi Dakolo, who has constantly and continuously shown that he's a true Nigerian. Along with the young lady who will be doing the traditional Oriki, we're covered for entertainment today with the best of the best in Nigeria. Beyond which, I'm not sure which is your favorite Nigerian food, Shay. Talk me through it. Me, I like agoin beans. I like jollof rice that is smoky. You know, the one they serve at weddings and at events. Tell me which is your favorite.
You know, the best of jollof rice is the jollof rice you eat at burials. Smoky and sweet. I can see the youth corps members agreeing with me. If you agree with me, Corpus, we they are in agreement.
Corpus, we were. Well done, welcome. We see you. Please raise your hand and cheer for Nigeria because you are truly Nigerian and you represent Nigeria, Shay.
You know, talking about Nigerian food, I'm a lover of a well-prepared eforiro with garnished with prawns, dried prawns with smoked fish and some pomo that is well soaked in pepper, and you load it down with well-pounded yam. I can see they are agreeing with me again. If you agree with me, say aye. If you don't agree with me, say nay. On behalf of the Deputy Senate President,
Good morning and welcome to the program My Nigeria, My Responsibility. We are live at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Today we gather under a theme that speaks directly to the heart of our national journey. My Nigeria, my responsibility. At a time the country faces both great challenges and even greater possibilities. This conversation is more than timely. It is essential. Reigniting patriotism is not just about waving the flag or singing the national anthem. It is about rebuilding the trust, duty, and collective discipline that binds a nation together. It is about citizens who hold themselves accountable and leaders who remember that service is a privilege, not a position. It is about everyday's choice we make, from how we treat public property to how we speak about our country, to how we demand and uphold integrity. Responsible citizenship and leadership are not parallel tracks. They are a partnership. One thrives when the other is strengthened. And if Nigeria is to rise to the heights of its potential, both work hand in hand and conviction, with clarity and with a renewed sense of purpose. Today, we delve into what it truly means to own our nation's progress, to champion unity over division, and to embrace a mindset that says Nigerian future is not someone else's assignment, it is ours. My name is Kike Lomo Okeri. It is an honor to guide this conversation on the theme that calls every Nigeria to reflect and to act. My Nigeria, my responsibility. Let the conversation begin.
Just wave those hands, wave those hands. Nigeria is truly blessed. Yes, I remember not the 10th Senate. I remember one time in the Senate, there was a bill, and then the Senate president said, if you are for the bill, say aye. Nobody, only one person said aye. And if he said, if you are against, somewhere else say nay. Everybody said nay. The Senate president said, the ayes have it. They said, why, sir? He said, it takes courage for one person to have it.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate, I see Sheyi the law is working hard at wanting to run. The way he's talking, I don't trust him. I think he might have a plan which he has not told the rest of us. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our royal father of the day is in situ. We salute you, sir. We welcome you, and we thank you for being in our midst. In addition, I'd like to salute the representative of the IGP, who is already seated, and I'd like to specially greet members of my family from the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, Honorable Minister of the FCT, considering that not only are they our landlords, they are our keepers in the FCT, and we need to constantly and continuously speak about how the FCT is improving by the day. So we sincerely welcome Dr. Maria Mahmood, Honorable Minister of State FCT, who has made her way here. We salute all the invited guests from Kano. I see that we have the Director General, head of the Hadeja River Basin, who is also here. Of course, we have His Excellency, former Governor of Kano State. We greet you, the very distinguished Senator Gaya. We have the National Chairman of the National Sports Commission, who has joined us, and we have very distinguished members of the National Assembly here with us. Also, the Chairman of the National Population Commission has also joined us. As we await all the other guests, I would like Sheyi to talk us through perhaps what is his finest Nigerian attire. Nobody does it better than us. When you see a Nigerian at an airport, you know, because our swag, it choke. Sheyi, take it away.
You know, with the Nigerian attire, we're always proud. If you love your agbada, can I see your hand up? You love agbada, you know, 1,500, you know, always beautiful. If you love your Iro and Boba with the gele, can you wave your hand? How many of you remember that Lagbaja song? Gele Odun, bi come away, koda bi koyeni, eyi ya. You know, it is beautiful. I love Nigeria. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. You know, I remember one time I was driving and I was stopped by some Nigerian police officers a long time ago. I was stopped, and then the police jumped on the road. They said, park. I truly parked the car, and the police looked at me. He said, sorry, Oga, who are you? I said, my name is Sheyi Law. He said, so what do you do, sir? I said, I'm a comedian. The next question took me by surprise. He looked at me. He said, what do you do? I said, I'm a comedian. He said, what do you commend? I said, Oga, I commend by making people laugh for a living. He said, oh yeah, Oga, make me laugh. You know, I cracked the first joke. He didn't laugh. I cracked the second one. He didn't laugh. I tried the third one. He didn't laugh. And I said, Oga, please, I'm going somewhere. I dipped my hand in my pocket. I gave him some money. He started laughing. He said, Oga, this is your joke. They're very funny. So what makes us laugh are very different.
I take complete exception. My father-in-law was a policeman. And because my father-in-law was a policeman, so that when I go home, they won't lock the door, I have taken that joke that Sheyi said and put it in the pocket. And the representative of the IG of police and we take exception. So we will find another joke that Sheyi will do today and has nothing to do with policemen. because I want to eat well in my house. I want to remain in my 43-year marriage. I have no interest in leaving it. And Sheyi has no business trying to throw me out of the house where the policeman's son is my husband. You see the wala? All right. Let's return to clothes and the way in which Nigerians wear their clothes. I'm not sure that Sheyi understands the northern cap, which I am, I am working on understanding better. I have a small degree in it. You see the northern cap, there are some of those caps are like 5 million naira. Yes, so the caps from the north are made by special people. Then there are those who open the hula, the ones you take it to wash. It's a special skill. The threads say a lot of things. You know the way the Abeti Aja in the southwest tells a story. When you see the cap, those who know. Those who do not know may think the cap is it's an accessory and it's very expensive. In the north, the caps are different grades. His Excellency, Dr. Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje, former governor of Kano State, chairman FAN, former APC national chairman, is looking at me like that. Like, let me hear her mention how much my cap is. I'm not going there even. I'm just minding my business in this place today. Because today is for the youth. And you see all of them gathered with their fine caps. The youths are here to say to us those things they used to say online. Some of them throwing Nigeria under the bus. These ones that have come here are our candle-bearing, card-carrying members that will bring it to a stop. Because my Nigeria is my responsibility. The nation that gave you life is a powerful place to be. In fact, when they say, where did they bury your umbilical? Where did they bury it? Some of us who are born in Kaduna, I know where my own was buried. I know which country I belong to. I don't want to belong to another country. I will never japa. I can go and see their country and learn some things. They can also come here and learn some things. You know, Sheyi, I've always wondered, we have Chinese all over the place. We have Indians all over the place. They are coming to Nigeria. Why are we running away from our own? Our country is the only one we have, is the only one we should try to fix, is the one that we should stay here and rescue. Because you know what? No one is coming to rescue Nigeria for us. So Sheyi, me and you, we are here, we die on the line. You know now.
Yes. And you know, talking about the Nigerian attire, as a Yoruba man, when you see the Yoruba cap, we call it fila. You know, the way we wear our fila is very symbolic. It tells our story. It tells a story that is peculiar to the person who is wearing the cap. If you have your cap, the Yoruba cap, and you bend it to the left like I have done, it means that you are married. If you bend it to the right, it means you're single. When you allow it to face up like this, it means you don't care about the world. And then when you push it forward, it means you're saying that you are still looking forward. And then when you push it backward, it means you are old and you have seen life already. But as Sheilo, my own is still to the right, to the left, as a married man. And I'm well married, seriously married, not single, not searching, 14 years in marriage. I think I deserve a round of applause.
I don't know what the man who has been married for 14 years is looking for a round of applause for. I should take this hall and go home at 43 years in marriage. Sheyi, how old is your marriage that you think we should be clapping for you? When you reach 20, we will manage. But really, let's clap for Sheyi. He has done very well. Well done. Great job. You see, when I first started reading the network news, my colleagues Ruth Benemesia Opia, CNN, Orwell Brown, and bless her soul, the late Tokumbo Ajayi, said to me, this gele you are tying, this donkwali that you are tying is too small. I said, this is how we tie it in the north. We don't have time for all these big things you people are tying in Lagos. So she said to me, you know, now you are no longer just a northern girl, you're a national figure. So you must learn to tie the scarves from everywhere. So they taught me to tie a bigger scarf, what we call in the north, gogoro, the ones we tie when we are going to wedding. So I learned, and I have only 4 styles. I just put the angle in one side, it will become a different scarf. I put the angle on another side, it becomes a different, And people say, Eugenia, every time with a scarf. So that's how we are in the North, though. We like scarf well. We women in the North, we're very beautiful. We don't need too much to stay beautiful. So Shay, just take note of that one. That the women in the North don't need too much to stay beautiful. We are trying. Exactly. The scarf I tie, I have the Nigerian independence one. I have the wedding one. I have the one I'm wearing for naming ceremony. So I have different types of geles, and I tie them for different occasions. Just like your cap says a lot, our own scarves say a lot too. Our gele is saying quite a bit, and you have to know, again, to know. We greet the governor of Kano State, whom I believe would have sent a representative, His Excellency Abba Kabir Yusuf. We welcome you. We thank you for being here. We appreciate your presence, and we are glad that he has sent us his love by asking you to come and join us. Welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome. Again, I'd like to salute and greet the EU ambassador, who has made his way into the room, and we're always glad to see you. The EU is doing a lot of work in supporting Nigeria, both technically and otherwise, to put Nigeria front and center wherever it is that they find a project to support. We thank you. It's very good to see you. Only recently, the EU supported ensuring that the mainstream non-formal economy into the assurance that they will have cover of being able to be pensionable, being able to have retirement benefits from tailors to those who are traders. They provide the platform for social security for them, working through the Ministry of Labor and Employment and the International Labor Organization. We thank you for your service. Well done. Great job, Shay.
Auntie, your time with NTA is very fresh in our memory. And a lot of us, the millennials, I'm not talking of the Gen Zs, we enjoyed NTA. If you enjoyed NTA, you are still enjoying NTA, please can you put your hands together for NTA? When you hear banana, 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 that's the network news, right? Back in the days, we used to see the village headmaster. You hear songs like Edi Kwansa, bio, bio. Edi Kwansa, bio, bio. Edi Kwansa, bio, bio. Is the lady? You guys I think we have Gen Zs here. If when you watch CNN, you watch Al Jazeera, the whites, they are very daring. They bring you the news live. You see something on CNN, they are telling you, if you can see me right now, my name is Andersey, and I'm bringing you the report live from Baghdad, Iraq, where the war is so fierce right now. And as you can see, I'm going to be talking to the commander of the American troops to ask them how they are dealing with terrorism. As they're talking, a bomb blast will just go up. The bomb goes off, and you start seeing them running around. Oh my God, there's been a bomb blast, and we're trying to cover the news and bring it to you as it's happening. We're running towards the site where the bomb has just gone off. Oh my God, if you can see me right now, my name is Cooper. I'm the camera. The cameraman has just been shot. The cameraman is dead. And he's still there, reporting live after the cameraman has been shot. That's why I love Nigeria. We report live too. We report alive. When you watch NTA, you hear something like, my name is Siristoba, you're welcome to the 9 o'clock news. And now we are moving over to our correspondent who is bringing us the news as it's happening in Maiduguri, Borno State. Sadiq, can you hear me? They don't usually hear themselves. Sadiq, can you hear me? I can't hear you, but if you can hear me in the studio, we are reporting live. Yes, we are reporting live where the bomb blast happened 4 days ago. We report alive, we don't report live.
Because I'm the senior director of ceremony, I'm the chief director of ceremony, I'm going to banish this man. You people have to beg me not to banish him. I don't know whether Sheyi Law would have had a career if NTA did not have Magana Jariche, village headmaster, cockcrow at dawn. If we didn't have it, will he have a job? He won't have a job. Oh. So you guys will have to beg me to keep him on this stage. Otherwise, I'm going to remove him. If he does not have anything to say, we will not let him say anything. But NTA has been formidable in ensuring that other media institutions grew. And we have been doing a lot of work in ensuring that that continues. Other TV stations came after us. And we would like to thank NTA for its many years of being there and for providing Nollywood. Without NTA, there will be no Nollywood. It's all those dramas we used to have at the time, the Kasim Uyeros of this world, of course, the Sadiq Dabas of this world. They are the ones who made it possible for other actors and actresses to come round. I'd like to welcome and greet the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, who has arrived and is expressing her greetings across board. Sheyi, I believe you have the next item, which is a performance.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm a man, and I think for this generation of men, we are trying our best. We are doing better than our fathers. For the men, am I right or right? The men, am I right or right? You know, growing up, my father never did any school runs. All this one that I'm doing now, I take my daughters to school. My wife will call me, baby, you are doing school runs today. Back in the days, the only school run that I knew was myself running to school. I used to be the one running to school, but now we're doing better than our fathers. You know, all my years as a young person, I never heard my father said, I love you, and I didn't say it back to my father. You see my children now, they look at me, they say, Daddy, I love you, Daddy. Daddy, can I get a hug? You know, they give me hugs here and there. Even at my age now, if I call my father and I say, I love you, my father, I hope there is no problem. Oh. This one that you are saying you love me, oh, what is the problem? Oh, what do you need? Oh, he thinks there is a problem if he hears I love you. You know, and one thing with men is that, you know, for men, when we are in difficult situations, life-threatening situations, we remember our families first. Am I right or right? You know, I'll tell you a little story, Your Excellencies. One day, sometime in 2018, I was going to do a comedy show in Dublin, and I had some of my younger comedians who were going on that trip with me. I had some of my younger comedians who were going on that trip with me, and I had applied for an Irish visa for them. I applied for them because I'd been to Dublin before. I was able to apply for a year visa, and for the younger comedians, I had to apply for a month visa for them. But quite unfortunately, our visas came out on Tuesday, just before the Thursday that we were supposed to travel. When the visas came out, I discovered that my younger colleagues were given a week visa, and me, I was given a month visa. And so I had to correct the visa because the visa was stamped on the passport on the Friday. We got it on Tuesday, and by Friday, the visas would have expired, and our show was going to happen on Sunday. So I called the promoter in Dublin. I said, please, I had to go back to Abuja on Wednesday to correct the visas. And he said, no, just come to Dublin. When you come to Dublin, after the show, we'll go and correct the visas. I told him, I don't want these guys to, you know, be affected by us overstaying. And I said, please, I will go to Abuja on Wednesday to correct the visas. He had 1 minute to go to Abuja, that we should just come. That was the first sign. You know, the Yorubas will say, the death that wants to kill a man, we first get him deaf. But I said, no, I had to go to Abuja on Wednesday and correct it. When I woke up Wednesday morning, I had booked an 8 a.m. flight. I woke up at about 4:30 a.m. to dress up and go to the airport. After I dressed up, I picked up my bag. I was about leaving the house. My daughter then, she was about 1 year and 6 months. She woke up walked to me by the door, held my leg, and she started crying. Daddy, don't go to Abuja. Daddy, don't go. Daddy, don't go. So I picked up my daughter. I carried her. I patted her on the back, and she fell asleep on my shoulder. I dropped her on the bed. I walked out of the room. That should be my second sign not to travel. As soon as I got outside, I opened my door. It started raining. What is happening? I defied the rain. I entered my car. I drove to the airport. I checked in, and then the announcement came that the flight has been delayed till 10 a.m. Wow. Another sign. I ignored it. I waited till they called for boarding, and I boarded the flight. While we were on the plane, we took off, and then the pilot announced that we are now 33,000 feet above sea level.
I'm going to cut Sheyi short now because for want of time, we're going to start. Mr. President has sent his representative already, and we have that information now. So we're going to kick off straight away. And before we do that, we'll prepare the NYSC group, knowing that the youth have us today and they have us tomorrow. They are the ones who are going to, I believe, be doing the national anthem. So when Sheyi counts to 3, you begin to perform the national anthem. Before then, I'll just take some consultations and we'll kick off. David? I would like at this point to have Sheyi open the floor by counting to 3, and we will rise as that takes place because we are saluting our nation. There you go.
Please, crave your indulgence. Shall we rise on our feet as we honor this great nation, Nigeria? And after the count of 3, we will take the national anthem by the NYSC band. 3, 2, 1.
Please, let's remain standing for the national prayer. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. You may be seated. Your Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is represented today by the Honorable Minister of Information, the President of the Senate, who is represented today by the Deputy President of the Senate, His Excellency Senator Barau Jibrin, members of the National Assembly here present, particularly ranking members who are in our midst, the representative of the Kano State Governor, the representative of the Jigawa State Governor, the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, other members of the National Assembly here present, former and serving, Honorable Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Ayodele Olawande, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Honorable Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Mariam Mahmoud, the representatives of the Chief of Staff and the NSA, the former APC National Chair, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje, our keynote speaker, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashere, Professor Umaru Pate, the program lead and galvanizer, Malam Nasir Bala Aminu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, heads of government and extra-ministerial departments, heads of security agencies here present. We greet the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth, captains of industry, especially Alhaji A.A. Rano, esteemed traditional rulers in our midst, and we particularly salute the royal father of the day, Sarkin Kanu Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, members of the diplomatic corps here gathered, women's groups, youth groups, especially the NYSC.
All right, we are still live at the presidential villa for the program, My Nigeria, My Responsibility. It is a national citizen engagement campaign designed to inspire Nigerians, especially young people, to take active responsibility in building a better nation. The campaign promotes patriotism, civil values, community development, and responsible citizenship as essential tools for national progress. In attendance, we have the representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, as well as the Deputy President of the Senate, Jibril Barao, as well as the FCC Minister of State, Miriam Mahmood. And also in attendance, we have the former All Progressive Congress Chairman, Dr. Umar Ganduji, in attendance.
Nigeria is a collective project. While addressing a joint session of the National Assembly of Nigeria in May last year, Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, quote, "We have no other country that we can call our place. Let us work together to build our nation, not only for us, but for generation yet unborn," unquote. It is responsible citizenship that makes Americans seem like they are the only countries in the world, that make them admired by other nations. Their patriotism is a shining example of how to love one's country, how to build one's nation, no matter what. Online platforms and in other gatherings, no one looks at Nigeria from the prism of the 1961 inaugural speech of the United States President John Kennedy, quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," unquote. Today we stand on the cusp of history to be the ones, the group, the generation that shifts the needle to that height far above where we are today, to make Nigeria a nation most admired by other nations. In our offices and our homes, in all that we do, let's look at the glass always as half full rather than half empty. Your Excellencies, on a personal note, I'm a card-carrying, never-say-die Nigerian who believes in my nation, carrying her in my heart wherever I go. I love that we're breaking boundaries, shattering ceilings, from film to music to food. Across the world, Nigeria is shining. I'm a truly proud Nigerian. It's time now for me to ask Sheyi Law to introduce the next program on the agenda and bring up our first speaker. My name, again, is Eugenia Abu, and I'm working with Sheyi Law. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I believe we can make the applause louder and better. And it is time for us to have the welcome address by the convener of this event, a young man who is a proud Nigerian and serving in this capacity as the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, and he's a lover of the youth. Please, can we put our hands together as we welcome Honorable Nasir Bala Aminu Jaoji. Please, let's welcome him.
representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Information, the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barau Jibril, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, His Royal Highness, my father, Alaja Aminu Ado Bayero, my mentor, my godfather, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, former National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, the representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, representative of the IGP Police, the EU Ambassador of Nigeria, ECOWAS, the Cuban Ambassador, the Chinese Cultural Counselor, the Emir of Kano again, DG NFC, the Chairman National Sport Commission, distinguished senators, House of Reps, Commissioner, Federal Consumer Protection Council, my sister, Senior Special Assistant to the President, my colleagues, Senator Kau Sumaila, and all the remaining senators. Good morning to you all. It is with profound honor and a deep sense of national duty that I welcome you all to the official launch of My Nigeria, My Responsibility. My Nigeria, My Responsibility is a campaign, a flagship campaign for citizens' engagement initiatives under the renewed hope of our father, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Today's gathering is not merely the unveiling of a program. It is the birth of a national movement, a deliberate effort to reawaken the spirit of responsibility, patriotism, accountability, and shared ownership of Nigerian project. This campaign emerged from the understanding that nation building is not the task of government alone, but a collective obligation and that rests upon each citizen, young or old, public or private, rural or urban. The program titled My Nigeria, My Responsibility, with a theme, Reigniting Patriotism through Responsible Citizenship and Leadership, is a national citizen engagement campaign designed to inspire Nigerians, especially young people, our youth, to take active responsibility in building a better nation. The campaign promotes patriotism, civic values, community development, and responsible citizenship as essential tools for national progress. This campaign is more than a slogan. It is a movement designed to remind every Nigerian, young and old, in public or private life, that the progress of our nation is a shared duty. The government has its own responsibilities, institutions have their mandate, but the soul of any nation is carried by its people. When citizens embrace integrity, respect for the law, community service, and patriotism, development becomes not just possible, but inevitable. We are here today to strengthen that collective commitment. We are here to inspire also behavioral change, promote civic values, and encourage Nigerians to take ownership of the social, environmental, and moral well-being of our communities. This is how nations grow, this is how societies thrive, and this is how we secure a better future for our dear nation, Nigeria. This campaign seeks to change attitude, strengthen civic responsibility by encouraging citizens to contribute in everyday endeavors, respecting laws, protecting infrastructure, participating in community service, upholding integrity, supporting security efforts, promoting unity beyond ethnic and religious differences. Long before my appointment as SSC to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, I had already embraced the culture of teamwork as a driving force for promoting responsible citizenship and effective fellowship. This conviction continues to guide my commitment to national development and collective responsibility. In my unique ways of contributions, I have been able to make impact in the following ways. Financial empowerment. Under our financial empowerment initiatives, I was able to facilitate the distribution of cash grant to youth and women as follows: 1,000 to each 1,000 youths, 20,000 to 100 individuals, 50,000 to 100 individuals, 1 million to 4 individuals. These interventions were aimed at supporting small businesses, encouraging self-reliance, and strengthening grassroots economic development. Under this project, we facilitated the empowerment of 50 women with sewing machine, while 50 individuals received motorcycle to our local communities. We sponsored computer training also. We've done a lot of agricultural empowerment and organizational support. Additionally, in this program today, we will be announcing a winner of a poetry challenge. The first winner goes with 1 million naira. The second winner goes with 500,000. The third winner goes with 250,000. Additionally, we will be having a raffle draw section where the winners emerged will get different kind of prizes. 500,000 for startup for 20 lucky winners, sponsored scholarship for 10 lucky winners, laptop also for 10 lucky winners, and iPad for 20 lucky winners. All these interventions, along with several others, not mentioned here due to time constraint, were made possible through the opportunities and access provided for the young women and women by this administration of our dear President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. May we all please rise and give His Excellency in absentia a standing and outstanding ovation. Bola, on your mandate we shall stand. Thank you. May you all sit down. Without a doubt, this campaign will continue to be strong from today through advocacy, school outreach, community programs, stakeholder collaboration, and digital engagement. The campaign, as it is carefully designed, empowers Nigerians to understand that nation building is not the task of government alone, but a collective duty and honest engagement shared by everyone. As the old saying goes, no one is an island on his own. Hence, the future of Nigerians depend on what each citizen contributes today. Thank you all for listening. Long live democracy. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership. In his welcome address, he underscores a critical truth: nation building, which cannot rest on the shoulders of the government alone. It demands the active involvement of citizens, young and old, rural and urban, public as well as the private sector. At the heart of his message is a call for responsible citizenship, protecting public infrastructure, participating meaningfully in governance, upholding shared values, and contributing to unity and peace. The campaign designs from community engagement to leadership training and digital advocacy, which reflects a deliberate push to rebuild civic consciousness across all sectors of the society. His speech also highlights the administration's commitment to empowering young people, strengthening institutions, and restoring national pride. It frames patriotism not as a mere sentiment, but as daily action that influence the Nigerian we create.
Party. the former governor of Kano State, the former deputy governor of Kano State, and a man with a great future in Nigeria, His Excellency Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The Emir, I greet you, sir. Thank you for honoring my brother Jauji with your presence, the representative of the governor of Kano State. Distinguished senators, I see if I continue, I would spend all my time on protocol, but I see other ministers, Women Affairs, FCT, Sports Commission, the IG, all other protocols duly extended. Let me say a special thank you as well to the members of the diplomatic community, my big sister, the ambassador of Cuba and the ambassador of the EU, for being here with Georgia. The former American president, John F. Kennedy, says, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." It places the responsibility of leadership, of growth, of national development, not on the nation, but the people. Because Nigeria is not the landscape, it's not the environment, it's not the expressway, it's not the physical infrastructure. We are the embodiment of the nation Nigeria. And that's why everywhere we find ourselves, we are the ambassadors of this country. The ambassadors of Nigeria is not the 60-something name that the president sent to the National Assembly for Senator Akpabio and Senator Barao to consider and review and approve. It is each and every one of you, my brothers and my sisters, the coppers, the young leaders of our nation who sits in this hall, who represent this country in our gesture, in our character, in our attribute, in what we do in our day-to-day living. I got back from China last week, Monday. I was there for 2 weeks at the invitation of the Communist Party of China. And they are taking us to Shanghai and Chengdu to go and study what the Party School of China is doing. And one of the things that we learned is the fact that the party in China and the government in China have embodied their citizen with Chinese modernization of what they believe the Chinese culture should be, the Chinese people should be. And as Nigerians, events like this that my brother Jauji has put together is to replicate those kind of ideas, to remind us that the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not a geographical space. It lives inside each and every one of us. And we have a duty, we have a responsibility to showcase this nation, to promote this nation, to defend this nation. And that's why every time we sing the national anthem, even though when we sang it earlier, I wanted them to sing the second stanza, because it reminds us of who we are. It reminds us of our nation. And if we want to be proud of Nigeria, like the Americans are proud of their nation, when they say, "Oh, say, can you see?" Or when the way the British would say, "God save the Queen," or "Rule Britannia, Britannia rule again." Britain shall never ever be slave. That is the second one of the anthems of the British. They know, they are confident that their nation would never be slave. And so as we live here, young Nigerian, let us remember that the pride of this nation is in our hands. The destiny of this nation is in our hands. And I'm excited that we are already impressing, because we are bringing solutions in fintech, we are bringing solutions in arts and culture, we are leading in creative technology, we are leading in many sectors as Nigerians. Our music, our food is leading across the continent and across the world. But more and more, we as young people will continue to lead, and we have a duty. Let me close with this story. And I've said it very much a few times. When I was in China, I spoke about it. They took us to two major places in Chengdu. It was first the bear, the panda center. And the second one was a bamboo forest. And there's something about the bamboo. For the first 3 years of a bamboo, it grows in the ground and you never see anything. On the 4th year, the bamboo doesn't even surface when it's growing. But in the 5th year, the bamboo shoots out and grows about 36 meters in 6 weeks. What does that tell us? The bamboo grows in silence And suddenly, people see that greatness suddenly shoots out. They think that bamboo grows just in 6 weeks. No, it was growing 4 years under the ground. What President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing for us in Nigeria today, we may not see it, we may not understand it, but the nation is growing like a bamboo under the ground. We're beginning to change our infrastructure landscape. We're beginning to ensure that our young people can have a good future. We have student loan, we have nail fund, we have credit card, we are going to AFCON. We are making a lot of difference. And I can assure you, if we as young Nigerians take our responsibility, like Jauji has inspired us, to ensure that we contribute to watering our bamboo that is growing in silence, very soon, in the 5th year, by the grace of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we would have ensured that our nation will sprout, and we will be proud to say we are Nigerians. Thank you, and God bless you.
Passionate Nigerian youth. We have Dio Israel, a passionate Nigerian youth leader whose only thinking at all times is how can Nigeria move forward? How can the youth be part of moving Nigeria forward? Let's give another round of applause to Mr. Dio Israel. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to quickly put on the table the fact that if you did not know, the minister in my own space, Alhaji Mohammed Idris Malagi, Honorable Minister of Information, is today representing His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have in our midst the Chairman of the National Sports Commission. He has joined us today, and we appreciate his presence. As I mentioned earlier to you, we have Alhaji Awalu Rano, Chairman AA Rano Oil and Gas, who is making Nigeria proud as a captain of industry. Let's give a round of applause to him. We also have Alhaji Isa Gerawa, Chairman Gerawa Construction Company, who has also joined us here today. We truly appreciate him. And I'd like to, at this moment, kick off the goodwill messages. And I'd like to please appeal that we keep it to 2 minutes, no longer than 3 minutes for want of time. I'd like to quickly invite the Director, China Cultural Center, Mr. Yang Zhangxing, to come forward and deliver his goodwill message at this all-important My Nigeria, My Responsibility project. Please come up. Thank you. Encourage him. It's a long walk to the podium.
Your Excellency and distinguished guests, it's a great honor to be here to participate in a historic event. As a cultural counselor of Chinese Embassy and the director of China Culture Center, we have a very strong cultural relationship with your esteemed country and relevant esteemed ministries and sectors. Today's event, is a very, very important event for your country's future development, because just like the dignitaries mentioned, we need to, before we request to our country, our motherland, we have to, as a young generation, young people, we have to think, what can we do? What can I do for our country? And in China, we have very famous words. What is one for all and all for one? So if young people, we do our best, then the other person also support us. So mutual helping, mutual beneficial will very good circulation will burn to ourselves, to our nation, to our world. So Nigeria is a very great country with a long history. Your country the percentage of young people, young population is top level in the world. So your esteemed country in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years will be more greater and richer country, not only in your esteemed continent and in the world, but it depends young people's dedication, your hard working, your hard study. You will be your country's forever very steady pillar. And the Chinese government and Chinese embassy in Nigeria, our role is to connect your country and our country and benefit our two countries' people, benefit our generation to generation. So as a culture counselor, I promise that we will do our best to showcase our beautiful culture, wonderful culture, and we will continuously to support your country's wonderful culture, wonderful food, wonderful music, wonderful fashion, to more known by more Chinese people. And this year, our culture section just supported a fashion delegation to Beijing. There was a very successful event was held in Beijing, Nigerian fashion culture and Chinese fashion culture. And we just invited a delegation, filmmaker delegation, top level, to participate Zuma International Film Festival last week. And we will do our good job to deepen our friendly and mutual beneficial cooperation. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
We thank you very much for your intervention, Sheshe, as they say in Mandarin. We thank you for coming. And he has said that there is so much that Nigeria and China can do together, and that the Chinese-Nigerian Friendship Association is doing extremely well in working hard to cement that relationship that is between Nigeria and China, which has been there for a very long time. And he says that it is one for all and all for one, and that the Chinese embassy will continue to support the cultural side of things from his end, music, food, and all other cultural related things. Let's give another round of applause to the Chinese Cultural Counselor. We thank you so much for your intervention. Time now for me to invite the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Gautier Mignon, to please come forward and deliver his own intervention. Thank you very much. Can we keep it quiet at the entrance? Thank you.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, today ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information, Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, distinguished officials, traditional leaders, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues from the international community. Thank you so much for this kind invitation to this event, which reminds us that in any democracy, what matters most is not the government, it's the citizens, it's the people. And this is the same for the partnership that the European Union is building day after day with Nigeria. Of course, we align with the policies of the federal government, of the state governments. We fund projects of capacity building for the ministries, departments, agencies in Nigeria. But most importantly, our cooperation strategy through the Global Gateway investment strategy is aiming at empowering people in Nigeria. When we fund the Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program, for instance, enabling dozens of thousands of young graduates to have a first experience, a first professional experience to integrate into the labor market. When we fund the digital transformation centers to help young digital entrepreneurs to thrive and upscale their skills and upgrade their startups. Or when we fund projects for to strengthen democracy in elections in Nigeria, to enable each citizen to really have a vote, a say that counts in the day of the election. Well, we are really partnering with every citizen in Nigeria. And so, congratulations on this event, and let's shape the future together. And my wish is that we can help you continue building this great nation, which is Nigeria, with a wonderful future. Thank you very much.
His Excellency EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Gutiérrez, who says that the EU will continue to provide the support that is required to continue to build this great nation. We thank you for your intervention. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you very, very much indeed. We appreciate you. It's time now for me to invite my sister, the Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, Her Excellency Marianne Morales Homero, to step forward and deliver her own intervention at this time.
Good morning, everybody. His Excellency, President of Republic Federative of Nigeria, and Vice Representative of the Minister of Information. My salute to the different ministers, my sister, Minister of Human Affairs. Thank you so much for support us. Emir of Kano, and another representative, my father, former chairman of the APC, and the another member of the Senate and Parliament. Thank you so much for inviting us for this important event that they will recognize as the young people in front of different important projects of this great nation of Nigeria. I think this initiative, for sure, if they calling us for support, in my case, in Cuba, you know that we have historical relationship. The historical tie to Nigeria and Cuba is not only by the cooperation, it's a block ties. For that, we are here, and we representing my country, and the telling you are that we are together in any project that the Cuban can to support Nigerian and the younger generation. We can to call us, and we are here for that. I wish you the good development in this initiative. They include all the Nigerian citizens, and the most important, that the representative of the youth organization of APC, Mr. Israel, say is the future. The youth is the future. The investment today in the youth sector is the future of the nation. Thank you so much.
Her Excellency, the Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, the youth is the future. I don't think that she can say it any louder. Let's give her a round of applause as she makes her way to her seat. We thank you so very much indeed for your intervention, which sends a powerful message and speaks to the fact that the reason why we are gathered here today, my Nigeria, my responsibility, is to prepare ourselves for the future and to ensure that those in that vanguard of youth own whatever it is that is going on and own practically where we are going as a nation, because we depend on them. It's not about today, it's more about tomorrow. All we do is to show the way as older persons so that Nigeria will be secured going forward. And because she has mentioned you in large, loud voices, give a round of applause, the youth of Nigeria, to the Cuban ambassador. Let me hear it from you all. Thank you so much. That is very well said. Your Excellency, the representative of Mr. President, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate, like I mentioned earlier, we have so many persons who have come for this purpose. I'd like to put on record the Chairman, National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, who is here with us today. We appreciate your presence and would like to greet and welcome Eze Dr. Ebere Dick from Abia State, who is represented by Dr. Uche Genti. We thank you for being in our midst. I'd also like to put on record the fact that my teacher, the supervisor of my higher PhD degree at BUK Kanu, who is our keynote speaker today, the very respected scholar in communications across the world, Professor Umaru Pate, Vice Chancellor of Federal University Kashere in Gombe State, is in our midst. I would like you to please celebrate our keynote speaker, respected Professor Umaru Pate, by a hand clap. Please let's give Professor Pate a round of applause. I've seen him today. I know that he is here. I'd like at this point to invite my co-anchor person, Sheilo, to bring up some entertainment before we take the next high-level goodwill messages, and we will run them quick. Shay?
Thank you very much. Please, it is time for a bit of entertainment, and we're going the cultural way. I want to bring on stage a lady who is well into culture, a Yoruba orator, a media personality, a red carpet host, a mass communication student at the University of Lagos. And she's going to be performing a Yoruba chant of honor to this great nation. We call it Oriki in Yoruba dialect. Please, can we put our hands together as a welcome Anjorin Temitokwe. Please, can we put our hands together for her?
Do you know that my Nigeria, my responsibility, she's my duty, she's my hope. She's the people I must serve and the nation I must protect. And so, hi, Temitokwe Anjorin. As a Yoruba lady here today, I will be celebrating this men of honor in the language of my people with the Yoruba chant of honor. I'll be celebrating Honorable Jahoji for putting this great event together. I'll be celebrating the son of the soil, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But before then, ìbá kọ́dá tó ti ń dá tiẹ̀ sórí ewé, ìbá ṣẹ̀dá tó ti ń dá tiẹ̀ sórí ìmọ̀, ìbá kí tètè dá tó fi dé gbọ̀ngbọ̀lẹ̀ ìtàn ìbà. Mo ní ọba kọ́dá yé o, aṣẹ̀dá ọ̀run, wìnìwìnì òjò tí ń jẹ́rọ ó tù yàn. Ọ̀dàdà tó délé ayé, ọ̀dàdà tó dójú ọ̀run, yàgbó yàájú ọkùnrin ogun, ọkùnrin wàgbà gbogbo, àlímọ̀ sí ẹ̀kánde. Kábíyèsí rẹ̀ ìbà. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu dámi lọ́wọ́ ọmọ òkè sí o. Ẹ̀yin ọjọ́ ń gorí ọjọ́. Mo lè mọ ọmọ pé ọjọ́ sáré tètè. Adìẹ fún gbajàmọ̀ tí ń sáré kùkùté. Mo lè mọ ọmọ pé ọjọ́ sáré tètè. Ọlọ́jọ́ ló díá fún Jahoji lónìí o. Ló díá fún Ààrẹ Tinubu lónìí o. Ẹ̀gbọ́n náà. Mo ti ń rọ́ lọ́pọ̀lọ́ pípọ̀ ọjọ́ ti pẹ́. Mo ti ń gbúrò ọmọràn àtàtàn ìnáyàn ti jìn. Ti Ààrẹ Tinubu ọ̀kan ṣoṣo ọ̀gá. Ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àjànàkú tí mi gbọ́ kìjikìji. Ṣé bọ́mọ ẹni bá dára káwí o? Bàṣìrẹ́ ní àtàtà ká ròyìn. Nítorí ẹyẹ ta ròyìn la fi tọ́lẹ̀ là. Dájúdájú ẹyẹ ológo nínú wọn. Ènìyàn bí Ààrẹ Tinubu ṣọ̀wọ́ gọ́gọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n torí ẹja ọmọkùnrin ogun. Bàbá nílé, bàbá lóko, bàbá lẹ́kùlé, bàbá níbi gbogbo. Mo ní ọgbọ́n ń bẹ nínú agbárí ń bẹ nínú ọpọlọ. Àfìlàkáyè yìí ni mọ́lẹ̀ kìtìkìtì. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed, ṣebí ìwọ ni mo kí. Bàbá Olúwaṣèyí Tinubu alákíkanjú ọmọ olódò ìdẹ. Ẹ̀yin ọgbọ́n ń bẹ nínú agbárí ń bẹ nínú ọpọlọ. Jahoji ló sọ fún mi wípé ó ní ẹjọ́ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ á ta wọn lóde òròfó ó ní àròyé tọ̀tọ̀tọ̀ á ta wọn lóde ẹ̀gà mo ní kò sí ẹjọ́ kò ṣàròyé ní ìtawọ̀ àti òro bá gbọ́ bá ta ni àtàgbé ìkàmọ̀jọ́ ta ni àtàgbà ìwọ lọmọ ọlọ́kọ̀ tó lòkun ọmọ ọlọ́kọ̀ tó lòsà abínú pọ̀rọ̀gọ̀dọ̀ bíi ìfáfọ́rẹ́ kò béèrè ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ́fọ́rẹ́ kò béèrè torí Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu torí Jàójì Tinubu tó bá fọ́rẹ́ àbùjẹ́bùjẹ́. I want everybody in this room now to give 3 gbosa to these men of honor. Let's go. Gbosa, gbosa, gbosa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, can we make the applause louder for Anjorin Temitope? That was a beautiful Oriki. I was almost going to do it the Yoruba way. I wanted to come out and spray us some money. Please permit me to recognize the representative of the Bauchi State Governor who is here, the Speaker, House of Assembly, Bauchi State. You're welcome, sir. And I also want to recognize the MD, Nigerian Film Corporation, Mr. Ali Nuhu. You're welcome. Please permit me to also recognize the CEO BNCTs, Mr. Olubumi and Oshibajo. You're welcome. And I have the Director General, NEMA, represented by the Director Special Duty, Ajia Fatima Kashim. And also we have the MD CEO, Northwest Development Commission, Professor Shehu Abdullahi Mahaji. Please can we put our hands together for them? And we continue with the
Okay, so I'd just like to interrupt Sheyi, who has a list of goodwill messages that are going to come real quick. Chairman of the National Sports Commission, Honorable Minister of State FCT, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, because we have something that would help your day to go better. And this shouldn't be very long. But this is a performance, Honorable Ministers, please, I'd like to crave your indulgence, that has a gentleman who is a young person, who is forward-looking, who has been in the forefront of promoting Nigeria even before he became this big name, has always carried Nigeria's flag on his head. I'd like you to please welcome, with a definitive Abuja round of applause, the man I like to call my younger brother. If you have a younger brother like this, please come out. This younger brother of mine is a performer's performer and a true Nigeria's representative. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, permit me to introduce your son, who has carried the flag of Nigeria all over the world. Help me welcome the irreplaceable Timi Dakolo.
As a people stand, as a people with song and one voice, we're a nation undivided and poised. We will die, stand and build our land, be faith to the fair what is ours. See, we are one heart and for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns at the roots, the rivers are land where there's hope for us all. Said our land where there's hope for you and I. And we know we'll get there. We'll rise up. We'll defend the land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds. And that one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation. Though we are many people, different tribes and different tones, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor and our land and for generations to come. will shine like the sun. Every Nigerian hear this. Nigeria hear this. What a great nation.
Thank you very much, Timmy. We are all we have. We'll defend our land. We'll believe in this great nation and the promise she holds. Please can we put our hands together for Timmy Dakolo. Are you ready to defend Nigeria? Are you ready to defend Nigeria? If you're ready to defend Nigeria, say yeah! I love this nation. It has given me so much. And we'll take more goodwill messages, but please, we'll crave your indulgence to please help us manage our time. Just 3 minutes for each of the speakers. And please permit me to welcome the chairman of the National Sport Commission, a man who's done so very well for the Nigerian sport. Please can we put our hands together for Dr. Shehu Diko. Please, a round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented here by the Minister of Information, the Deputy Senate President, the former party chairman, permit me to stand on all already established protocol. I think my goodwill could have been much easier. It's just for me to adopt what Timmy have just sung here today. But I will add a few words. We all know that the biggest platform to engage the youth, and indeed Nigerians and everybody in this country, is sports. We are all privileged to be given the opportunity to drive that process. So therefore, I first congratulate my brother for putting this together and to assure you of our continuous collaboration and support to make our platform of sports available to drive this unique program and framework going forward. It is the best platform through sports, which is basically our national asset that clearly drives into the minds and hearts of the entire country at any point in time to be able to drive this framework so that we can be able to get everybody involved, everybody to love Nigeria the more, and to give everything for Nigeria. So thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shehu Diko. That's the shortest speech I've heard from any politician in my life. Thank you. And now please permit me to welcome the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, who is here in our capacity and also representing the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Yeson Wike, Dr. Maria Mahmood. Please a round of applause for her.
Thank you very much, the Directors of Ceremony, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Muhammad Idris Kakinupi, the Deputy Senate President, His Excellency Senator Barrow Jibril, CFR, representative of Kano and Jigawa state governors, all members of the National Assembly that are here present, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Iman Suleiman, FSI, all members of the Federal Executive Council that are here, His Excellency Chairman, Federal Aviation Authority of Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, CON, all members of the business community, international and diplomatic corps, the Honorable Senior Special Assistant and the convener of this important occasion, that's SSA to His Excellency on Citizenship and Leadership, Malan Nasir Bala Jao Oji. Our Royal Father, Alaji Amina Ado, like Ara Sarki Lafia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, youth, women, I acknowledge everyone that is here. It is an honor for me to join you on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration at this important national launch of My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign, a visionary initiative of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on Citizenship and Leadership. I congratulate the organizers for championing a platform that calls citizens, institutions, leaders, and communities to a renewed sense of duty and shared nation building. This campaign comes at a time when our country is undergoing a remarkable transformation under the leadership of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Across sectors, Nigerians have been presented with new opportunities to contribute, participate, innovate, and take responsibility for the success of our great nation. It is therefore fitting that we gather together to reaffirm the nation building is not just a task of a government alone, as it was stated by SSE. It is a collective obligation that begins with every one of us. As the administrative and symbolic heart of the nation, the Federal Capital Territory stands as a reflection of Nigerian unity, values, and aspiration. In the FCT, we are committed to promoting responsible citizenship, strengthening civic culture, and encouraging communities to take ownership of the environment, public assets, and shared spaces. Through policies that emphasize inclusion, security, environmental stewardship, and civic engagement, we continue to build a city where every resident feels empowered to contribute positively. The message, My Nigeria, My Responsibility, aligns strongly with our ongoing efforts in the FCT to promote this feeling, uphold the rule of law, foster social harmony, and support community participation in governance. It reminds us that patriotism is not just expressed during national events, no. It is demonstrated daily through our choices, conduct, and also contributions. I'm confident that this campaign will inspire a new wave of citizen-led action across schools, workplaces, communities, and institutions. We should all collectively view it as a call to strengthen ethnic leadership, amplify volunteerism, mentor our team in youth, protect our national asset, and uphold the value that binds us together as Nigerians. Once again, I commend the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on Leadership and Citizenship for this tremendous achievement. Thank you for coming. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, for that goodwill message. Please can we put our hands together for her? And now I'm about to introduce a woman who I call my sister. I love her so much from her time as the Minister of State for Police Affairs and now the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. Please can we put our hands together as a welcome Honorable Iman Suleiman Ibrahim. Please a round of applause for her. A true representative of the Nigerian women. Please can we put our hands together for her?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheilo.
That was the Minister of FCT, the Minister of State, Miriam Mahmood. In a speech, she says, The initiative championed the organizations which stand out as an important reminder of what citizen-led institutions can achieve when they create genuine platforms for participation by encouraging leaders and communities to embrace a renewed culture of responsibility, routine engagement, and shared commitment to nation building. The campaign arrives at a critical moment, a time when the country is undergoing significant transformation under national leadership. This call to action reinforces the progress is never the duty of government alone. It is a collective obligation, civic, moral, and generational.
Without over 50% of our population. May I start by recognizing His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who is ably represented by the Minister of Information, Malam Idris Malagi, another responsible citizen who makes his job so easy. And that's where we need professionals in the right place. Round peg in the round hole. Honestly, we respect you, Mr. Malagi. May I recognize the Deputy President of the Senate, another he for she, another responsible citizen, my big brother. We recognize you, Your Excellency, Malam Baloro Jibrin, CFR. May I recognize my dear sister, Maria Mahmood, Minister of State, FCT, who is here in her capacity and also representing another brother of us, FCT Minister. May I recognize the chairman of the Sports Commission, another he for she. Whenever you see the chairman Sports Commission, just know that they're either women there or youths, because he knows that they're the collective majority and we're building a country. I recognize you, Malan Diko, and we thank you for the love for country. May I recognize my father's friend, the chairman fan, former APC chairman, Malam Umar Ganduje. I recognize you, Baba, and I see you. Thank you for being another responsible citizen and for your love for Nigeria. May I recognize the Emir of Kano, Malam Aminu Bayero. Thank you so much, Your Majesty. May I recognize all heads of government agency here present. May I recognize my sister, the ambassador of Cuba. I thank you for your love and your support. And thank you for also supporting Nigeria. We appreciate you. May I recognize representative of the IGP of Police, members from the private sector. We thank you. We can't build Nigeria without the private sector. We thank you for your partnership. May I recognize our youths. I'm sure you're all aware that almost 70% of this country are youths. And over 60% of them are women. So I recognize you, our youths, our leaders of today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend and recognize my brother, the SSA to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, who convened this very critical conversation at this time. It is apt. My Nigeria, my responsibility. This is where it stands, this is where it ends. It's very important that at a time like this, we assume our full form of being responsible and patriotic. And in doing so, we must be intentional and honest to ourselves. Mr. President, in his wisdom, has given governance a human face. For the first time, we know that we're governing human beings. Our APC youth leader, Mr. Dayo Israel, spoke about China. I recognize you, my leader. He spoke about China. What China did was they heavily invested in their people. And that's why they are growing at an accelerated manner. And that's what Mr. President is doing. And we must take advantage of this season and do whatever it takes to play our own part and play our role as responsible citizens. In China, they have 690 million women, 690. 98% of them are economically empowered. And 97% of them own their own homes. In Nigeria, we just have 20% of those women, or even less. Imagine a Nigeria where almost 100% of the women, where we have more female-headed households, own their homes, are economically empowered. I'm sure we would not have issues of out-of-school children, would not have issues of malnutrition, would not have issues of bandits. Because those children belong to a well-grounded home. I'm excited to inform you that Mr. President, through the Renewed Hope Social Impact Intervention, has approved the Family Advancement Program. And I think that this is a game changer, because when we look after the family unit, then we can be able to expect to have stronger societies and stronger communities. Mr. President also has approved for the budgets during the Federal Executive Council, the last one, approved for the budgets of the Women Affairs and Youth Affairs to be reviewed to capture the interest of the majority of our people. So I congratulate all of us on this conversation that has just started, and we'll take it further. From the ministry, we're doing also a campaign on see something, say something, and we'll do something about it. This is in line with the 16 days of activism that we're commemorating as a country. That started on the 25th, on the National Human Rights Day, on the National Day for, and then it's going to end on the 10th of November. We don't want to become a country of rape. Every day in a typical community, we get 10 cases of rape, and 8 of those are minors. We don't want to abuse any citizens, and that's why we're strengthening protocols. Join us in that campaign. I wish us a great deliberation. From the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, we remain committed to this particular conversation, and we look forward to partnering with each and every one of you for us to achieve the responsibility of the entirety of our country. We remain a very responsible partner in building Nigeria. I thank you for the opportunity to share. May God bless you all, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Honorable Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, has delivered her intervention and has made it clear that women constitute 60% of the 70% of the youth we have in Nigeria. We thank you so much for your intervention. She congratulated the convener and thanked the Deputy President of the Senate and the representative of His Excellency, the man who has put on the table the renewed hope agenda for Nigerians. We truly thank the Honorable Minister of Information, who's been sitting patiently here representing His Excellency. I'd like to appeal to our youth to understand that we were youth before we became older. Please, can you keep it quiet at the entrance? Mr. President is in fact in situ in representation. If you will keep it quiet, it shows that we are ready to hand over the reins of this country. Let's keep that entrance quiet in respect for our dignitaries who are here and members of the diplomatic corps. I want to thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Baffa Bappa, DG National Productivity Center, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi Mohamed, MD, CEO, Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority, and to say from the Director of Ceremonies desk that you are all duly recognized. These are our last set of recognitions. Mr. President's representative has to go. The Deputy President of the Senate also needs to attend to other state matters. I'd like to quickly invite to the podium a man who has been my mentor and who has mentored many Nigerian communication scholars in the country. The Kaigama of Adamawa, who has served as head of Department Mass Communication, University of Maiduguri for several years. Later moved to Bayero University, Kano, where he founded the Faculty of Communication, previously Mass Communication Department, and became its pioneer dean. Served as Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, acting chairman, Committee of Deans. In February 2021, he was appointed Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Kashere, Gombe State. Through his role, he has significantly influenced communication education in Nigeria, especially by championing curriculum reforms, expanding media infrastructure, and promoting the journalistic professional. I'd like to welcome the very respected Professor Umaru Pate, who is delivering the keynote address. Professor Pate, sir.
The President, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information, Alhaji Mohammed Idris Malagi, the Deputy President of the Senate, Alhaji Jibrin Barau CFR, Honorable Ministers, distinguished members of the National Assembly, our former chairman of the APC, representative of governors, security chiefs, Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps, Your Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, the convener, who is also the Senior Special Assistant to the President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the already established protocol. Good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to stand here today to deliver this keynote address on a very important theme that speaks to the very heart of our collective existence, my Nigeria, my responsibility. This is a deeply important national transformative initiative under the renewed hope agenda of the federal government led by His Excellency, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The campaign being coordinated by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership is focused on reigniting patriotism, strengthening civic responsibility, and inspiring increased ethical leadership across our nation, particularly among the youth who represent the largest and most dynamic segment of our population. I am profoundly grateful to the organizers for this privileged opportunity. The presence of the President, as ably represented here by the Honorable Minister and other very eminent leaders at this event, is a clear testimony of the government's commitment and desire to achieve the goal of the My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign. As a Vice Chancellor of a federal university and as one who has spent a lifetime working in the fields of education, communication, media development, and civic engagement, I am deeply convinced that no nation grows without a conscious investment in the values, attitudes, and ethical behaviors of its citizens.
I'd like to interrupt our keynote speaker by announcing the presence of the first son, Mr. Sheyi Tinubu. You may continue, sir.
Thank you. You are most welcome. I believe whatever anyone may say about Nigeria, thank you. As a Vice Chancellor of a federal university and as one who has spent a lifetime working in the fields of education, communication, media development, and civic engagement, I am deeply convinced that no nation grows without a conscious investment in the values, attitudes, and ethical behaviors of its citizens. Indeed, challenging times like the present have often served as opportunities for nations to take new paths and explore new frontiers in their development processes. I believe whatever anyone may say about Nigeria, opportunities abound for originality, pioneering, and profitable adventure. What we require is positive attitude and a deep sense of responsibility as individuals and institutions. Today's campaign is therefore timely, visionary, and necessary for us to reignite our deep sense of patriotism and further energize our renewed commitment to the growth and development of our country. History has taught us that nations are not built on wishes and mere speeches, but they are built by the responsibilities their citizens are willing to accept and uphold. Today's gathering is an acknowledgement that government alone cannot build a great Nigeria. It requires all of us, leaders and followers, institutions and individuals, to rise to the task. In simple terms, citizenship connotes responsibility that is constitutionally, contextually, and socially rooted. Citizens' responsibility in a country like Nigeria refers to the moral, civic, legal, and patriotic duties on each one of us, irrespective of ethnicity, religion, class, or region, to contribute to national stability, development, and unity. It is about playing one's part in building the nation, not waiting for government alone. Since independence, Nigeria and its people have been struggling with different approaches to set the country on a path of political, economic, environmental, social, technological, and educational greatness. Over time, we have tried several political systems, implemented a variety of economic measures, adopted various practices, but up to this moment, we are still not yet at the desired destination, partly because of the crisis of orientation and sense of detachment from the national cause. Hence, the foundation of the My Nigeria, My Responsibility philosophy. If it must be done, it must begin with me. This philosophy perfectly aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reminder to all of us during the inauguration of this administration that nation building is a joint responsibility. Government cannot do it alone. The campaign, My Nigeria, My Responsibility. From what I've read about this campaign, it is not just a slogan, it is a civic faith. It is a call to self-accountability, to collective renewal, and to a new kind of patriotism, one rooted not merely in emotion, but in thoughtful action. It promises to challenge every Nigerian to answer three fundamental questions. One, what is my duty to Nigeria as a citizen? Two, how do my actions strengthen or weaken Nigeria? Number three, what legacy will I leave for future generations of Nigerians who are yet to be born? The reality is simple. A nation rises when its citizens rise. It falls when its citizens withdraw or retreat into apathy. In all of this, responsive leadership and followership with responsibility are necessary. Your Excellencies, sirs, I am largely confident that the campaign being launched today will actively reawaken the citizens to their individual and collective responsibilities, duties, obligations, and everything to do with advancing the unity of this country. Such responsibilities encompass legal duties, moral commitments, societal behaviors, and patriotic actions that collectively shape the nation's progress. Indeed, Nigeria's complexity and its multicultural nature, as reflected in ethnic diversity, religious plurality, socio-economic backgrounds, and historical challenges, makes it a responsibility on every citizen and to be connected to the survival of this country. As we often say, Nigeria's diversity is a strength, but only when managed responsibly. In this context, the campaign will be expected to reinforce the strengthening of the citizens to avoid hate speech that fuels tension in the country, like we are seeing, resist the spread of fake news, especially on social media, promote interfaith and interethnic harmony, resolve disputes peacefully, support government reforms and community initiatives which I will just mention one, like we are doing in the universities. For a very long time, there is no single most impactful policy on the youths and students of this country like the NELFON scheme. And I will give you an example with my own university. As I am talking, I have 8,560 students that are enrolled in NELFON. And all of them have been receiving their pays as and when due for the past year and up to this moment as I'm talking. My hope is that before the end of the first quarter of this year, I should have 15,000 students enrolled in NELFON. And this is just for University of Kashere. And the impact of NELFON on the communities is enormous, and the universities are now having more calmness, at least on the part of the students, because they could get their pays at the end of the month and they could eat and concentrate on their studies. This is a reform that every Nigerian should be able to support, and parents should know that many of their children sometimes who collect this money are not telling them, but they are collecting money. The government is paying for their registration fees, and they are also getting 20,000 naira every month. This is very, very impactful, and people need to know more about this. And it's a very wonderful reform. Your Excellencies, sirs, in order to sustain the current drive and momentum of the evolving opportunities, there is the need to strengthen the citizens' commitment to responsibility for ethical conduct by encouraging them to cherish, uphold, and insist on integrity in all dealings. Equally, the campaign, like previous initiatives, should emphasize responsibility for national unity, especially among the youths, who should be strengthened to rise above ethnic, religious, and regional prejudices. Our younger generation should be taught to believe that Nigeria's strength lies in its diversity, and it is our responsibility to protect that diversity through our conduct, speech, and relationships. Every time we stereotype a group, separate hate on social media, or undermine one another because of identity differences, we are weakening the fabric of our existence as a people and as a nation. It is also important that the campaign focuses on responsibility for community service. It should be able to reawaken the spirit of volunteerism and communal participation in our communities to promote growth at the grassroots. That will promote a sense of community ownership and community-centered accountability in the affairs of our people. For this campaign to succeed, it must be multifaceted and all-embracing without exception. With proper planning and segmentation of content, every category of Nigerian, most especially the youth, can be addressed with relevant messages through appropriate channels. I should emphasize that communication is key for the success of this initiative. Therefore, we should invest a lot in different communication aspects to ensure that this campaign reaches every point. It is important also to ensure that every group is strategically reached. For example, as an educator, I strongly believe that knowledge is the foundation of national development. Thus, the need for proper inclusion of our universities, schools, and training institutions in the campaign to support them in their task of producing citizens who are critical thinkers, ethical leaders, problem solvers, creators, and innovators. In the same vein, the campaign should target our media professionals, scholars, influencers, community leaders, and political influencers on their roles in guiding public discourse responsibly and promoting responsible media consumption and digital literacy. While we call on citizens to act, leadership is also reminded to earn the trust of the citizens by demonstrating accountability in their affairs, prioritizing national interests over personal interests, ensuring fairness in resource allocation, strengthening institutions, and providing opportunities for the youth. Citizens can only act responsibly when leadership is responsive. As President Bola Tinubu has repeatedly affirmed, reform, discipline, and accountability remain central to our national renewal and survival. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, Nigeria remains Africa's most promising nation because of our resilience and resourcefulness. I am hugely hopeful that with a conscious effort to address the issue of ethical reasoning and orientation through the My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign, Nigeria can overcome its challenges and attains its rightful position in history and earn respect as a country of honest citizens and transparent leaders. Accordingly, let me commend and join the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Malam Nasiru Bala Aminu, to appeal to all Nigerians for us to build a nation where responsibility is culture, unity is strength, and hope is renewed. I thank you for your kind attention.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the unflappable, well-respected Vice Chancellor of the Federal University Kashere, Professor Umaru Pate, media scholar, plenipotentiary, well-respected across nations and across divides. Please give another round of applause to our keynote speaker who has spoken so very well about ensuring that social...
That was the keynote speaker, Professor Umar Pate, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Kashere in Gombe State. The keynote speaker delivered a message that cuts through the noise surrounding national conversation, regardless of what anyone has said about Nigeria. The foundation for genuine progress lies in a collective mindset, a positive attitude, coupled with a deep sense of responsibility, is what both individuals and institutions must embrace if the country is to advance. The speaker also underscores the nation's building is not the duty of a select few. It is a demand that participation of all, organization, public institution, and everyday citizen rising to the task with clarity and purpose. He says true citizens carries responsibility that are constitutional, social, and moral. These responsibilities stretch beyond ethnic, religion, or regional identity. He says legal and patriotic duties that bind us together as Nigerians. When citizens understand or uphold these responsibilities,
who is the Deputy Senate President of the 10th Assembly, one of the most proactive assemblies that this nation has ever had, because they passed in record time of 9 months the tax reform. Years for the petroleum industrial bill to be passed, but for the 10th Assembly, I've seen speed and I've seen the love for Nigeria. Please, can we put our hands together for Senator Barao I. Jibril CON, the Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, as he unveils the campaign material.
Of the greatest Nigerian youth, of the greatest of greatest Nigeria youth, 3 Bosa for all of you. Bosa, Bosa, Bosa. No use, no nation. Where is it not coming?
I'm holding.
Can I speak first?
So just remove him.
Okay, is it okay? Can I speak?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I have the honor and privilege to unveil the materials for my Nigeria, My Responsibility, it is expected that these materials will be used to ignite patriotism. Patriotism through responsible citizenship and leadership. I invite Mr. President, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information and the former chairman of APC and former governor of Kano State, and of course the convener and other important dignitaries here to join me in the unveiling. Where do you put?
I think this is the role. Obey the laws of the country. Okay.
Now, the civic duties, these are some of the obligations you must fulfill. Number one, obey the laws of the country, respect all rules and regulations at federal, state, and local levels. Two, pay your taxes where applicable. Taxes help the government provide services like roads, schools, hospitals, and security. Number three, vote during election when eligible. Participating in elections strengthens democracy and ensures your voice is heard. Next, respect the rights of others. Every citizen has rights. Respecting others' rights helps maintain peace. The next, of course, is show patriotism. Speak positively about Nigeria, support local initiatives, and contribute to national growth. The next is to protect and defend Nigeria's unity and integrity. Support peaceful coexistence and avoid actions that divide the country. The last but not the least is for you to report suspicious activities. Helping security agencies keeps community safe. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Your Excellencies, I would like for you to remain for a photograph where you are standing with the Deputy Senate President. And I would like to invite the first son, Mr. Sheyi Tinubu, to make his way for the photograph as well, to join this photograph because he supports the youth and this is the time for him to be in this photograph. This is an important photograph and I would like him to come up for this photograph. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there will be one more photograph after the representative of the President speaks, but this photograph for the unveiling is important, and after this photograph is done, I will invite the #1 citizen represented by the Honorable Minister of Information to speak. Thank you very much. You may return to your seats. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I would like now to invite the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, represented today by the Honorable Minister of Information, Alhaji Mohammed Idris Malagi, to deliver his speech. I'd like to please ask you to keep the room calm as the #1 citizen delivers his speech through the Minister. It is now my singular honor and privilege to invite him.
Thank you very much, my sister Eugenia Abu. Your Excellency, the President of the Nigerian Senate, ably represented by the Deputy Senate President, distinguished Senator Barrow Jibril, other members of the National Assembly here present, representatives of the state governors here, our elder statesman, former chairman of our great party, the APC, former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, members of the Federal Executive Council here present. I can see the Honorable Minister of Youth Development, Honorable Minister of State for the FCT, the Chairman, National Sports Commission, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our Royal Father, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero Sankano, Allah Taimaki Sarki, the heads of ministerial departments here present, one of the leaders of the youth in this country, Mr. Shahid Tinubu, who has also graced this occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all members of Nigerian youth. It is with profound sense of duty and a heart brimming with hope that I stand before you today at this pivotal flag of the My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign. I commend the vision of the Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership for this timely, powerful, and necessary initiative. This theme, Reigniting Patriotism through Responsible Citizenship and Leadership, represents the very blueprint for our national rebirth towards the new Nigeria we're all collectively building. Today, we are called to remember that patriotism is not a spectator sport or a title we claim only when our nation triumphs. True patriotism is an active verb. It is a choice we make every day to be responsible for our nation's story, its progress, and its image, both within our borders and among the Community of Nations. It is this shared understanding that the destiny of Nigeria does not rest in the hands of a select few in Abuja, but in the daily actions, words, and choices of over 200 million Nigerians scattered all around this country. In this noble endeavor, we are not walking blindly. We are guided by the living example of a leader who has, for decades, personified this campaign. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man whose entire political career is a testament to patriotic commitment to democracy. From the trenches of the pro-democracy struggles to the mantle of governance, his life has been a marathon for the entrenchment of democratic values wherever he has found himself. This commitment is a bedrock of his administration's bold, patriotic, and forward-looking policies designed for sustainable generational impact. They are the tangible evidence of a government that listens, that refines, that acts with courage, because it is convinced about most of its actions for the long-term benefit of all Nigerians. Let us examine some profound evidence of this responsible governance. First, the initiative of economic revival. The courageous reform in the subsidy fuel regime that has been removed since the inception of this administration in 2023, and also the coalescence of the foreign exchange. We have, as you recall, inherited a system where in 2022, about 97% of our federal revenue was spent in debt servicing and also in the repayment of this subsidy, leaving almost nothing to build our hospitals, schools, and roads. That pathway was indeed a national suicide. By stopping this hemorrhage, we have, within just 1 year, more than doubled the monthly allocation accruable to states, the federal government, and the local governments. Indeed, this has helped by directly empowering the state governors, the local government chairmen, and also the center at the federal level to meet the needs of all Nigerians. The pain in doing that is indeed real, but it is also the pain of healing, not the pain of decay. Second, the tax justice. Building on this, the President has initiated the most ambitious tax reform agenda in a generation. Why has he done that? Because a nation cannot be built on borrowed money alone. It must be built on the equitable distribution of the people's wealth and those of its corporations. The old system was indeed broken, where only 11% of the eligible population were actively contributing to our national tax system, leaving large scale of our people under the policy of tax evasion that was rampant in the foregone years. Our new system, spearheaded by the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, is built on fairness, it is built on clarity, and also on digital efficiency. We're expanding the base to bring more into the system while lowering rates for small businesses and the vulnerable sectors. Already, early results are very promising. In the first quarter of 2024, we saw a 73% year-on-year increase in company in-tax and a 44% increase in value-added collections, not from new taxes, but from bringing more people into the net and also, blocking the leakages. This is how we fund our shared future responsibly. When you pay your fair share, you are directly investing in the school your child attends, the road to your businesses, and the security that guards your homes. That is the essence of My Nigeria, My Responsibility. When the distinguished keynote speaker was talking about the NEL Fund, this couldn't have been possible if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had not taken this bold decision. Today, the NEL Fund has brought into active beneficiaries over 600,000 Nigerian students. Over 120 billion naira has already been expended in just less than 2 years. Just imagine what this will do at the end of the first term of this administration. The vision of Mr. President is that there is no child, no young man or woman of school age that is unable to go to school simply on account of the inability of his parent or guardian to pay for his or her school fees and also to pay for his upkeep while he remains in school. This, indeed, as the keynote speaker said, one of the most tangible achievements of this administration. Third, the architecture of our new prosperity. The revenue from these reforms that Mr. President has undertaken is being strategically channeled into infrastructure that will define our 21st century. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, for example, the massive rail and port modernization, the unprecedented investment in agriculture and solid minerals are not vanity projects. They are job creation engines and wealth corridors designed to unlock the productive potential of every region in this country. They are a proof that your sacrifice, all the sacrifices that Nigerians are making, is being invested, not being consumed. Fourth, security and human capital. Concurrently, we are deploying advanced technology and better motivated personnel to secure our nation. We are investing in our greatest asset, our people, through the student loan fund, like I said earlier, and vocational training, ensuring that every Nigerian has the tools to contribute to this new economy that Mr. President is building. This is responsible governance that listens. The adjustments to economic policies based on your feedback, championed by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, is also showing a renewed commitment in ensuring that there is constant conversation with the people of Nigeria. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the core of my charge to you today. The My Nigeria, My Responsibility campaign is a mirror. It asks each of us, what is my responsibility? From today, you have to ask yourself, what is my responsibility to my nation? Once you do that, you will see a clear pathway to national rebirth and national consolidation. One, your responsibility is physical citizenship. Patriotism is in the taxes that you pay. It is the most concrete transaction of trust between a citizen and the state. Your compliant contribution is your equity and stake in Nigeria's success story. Two, your responsibility is also to own your story. Be an ambassador of truth. In the digital age, do not weaponize misinformation. Highlight the progress, the innovation, the peace that is inherent in your country. It beats my imagination when at a time when this country is asking for people to come and invest through the foreign direct investment, all the time you see young men and women putting out information that is negative about our country. We need to have a reassessment of that. Nobody can clean up your image more than yourselves. Yes, it is possible to do a critique of your administration. Yes, you can disagree with your administration, but it is wrong for you to project your country as a country that does not have a future and that does not have a prosperous destination. Nobody will invest in your country once you do that. Your responsibility is to live your values. Every day, the Citizens' Charter of the national values through integrity, patriotism, diligence, tolerance, and excellence in your workplace, in your community, and in your online transaction. You have to project who you are as a Nigerian in whatever you do for others to respect you and for prosperity to come to your country. To empower you in this digital responsibility, we will, in February next year, at the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education, and through the support of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, launched the National Media and Information Literacy Institute here in Abuja. This is the first of its kind Category 2 Media and Information Literacy Center to be sited anywhere in the world. Nigeria just won the hosting bid for that. You should clap for your country for getting this fit. At a time when people thought that nobody believed in this country, the international community, as exemplified by UNESCO, is asking Nigeria to host the first of its kind Media and Information Literacy Center to be hosted here in Abuja. This will be your national toolkit to discern truth, to resist manipulation, and to engage ethically online, building a public space worthy of our democratic journey. It is also prepared so that people can discern what is fake news, what is misinformation. As you all know, fake news and misinformation are some of the greatest disasters happening to nations, not just Nigeria. Of course, the social media is here to build a nation, but if also not properly used, it can also destroy that same nation that it seeks to build. The Media Information Literacy Center is being designed to help us to curb that menace so that we can build a prosperous Nigeria for all our people. My fellow citizens, the President of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is providing the canvas of stability and vision. But the rest of us must pick up the brush to paint on that canvas. Our tax compliance, our truthful narrative, and our lived values all constitute the colors that will paint a masterpiece for a new Nigeria. Let us reignite our patriotism in action. Let us live here and fulfill our part of the covenant. My Nigeria, my responsibility. We want to thank the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship, Engagement, and Leadership, who has graciously brought all of us together, and the youth of Nigeria. I was excited when I saw the band of the NYC, singing our national anthem in pride. Thank you very much. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Please, sir, we'd love you to wait behind, sir, Mr. President.
That was the speech of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris. In his speech is a call to every Nigerian to rise, to participate and to contribute meaningfully to the story of Nigeria. He says the collective responsibility today will determine the strength, unity and prosperity of tomorrow. For now, the message is simple. Patriotism is a daily act, and together we can build nation worth of our dreams. He says advanced technology is better motivated personnel to secure the nation.
For the poetry competition on My Nigeria, My Responsibility. And we selected the top 3 for prizes today. The second runner-up, the third position, will get 250,000 naira prize.
The President's message also reinforces a crucial point about the national security. Safeguarding the country requires more than weapon or infrastructure. It demands advanced technology, modern system, and well-motivated personnel who are equipped to respond to today's challenges. By strengthening security agencies with innovation and better resources, the nation is laying the foundation for safer and more resilient future. He says, investing in human capacity means empowering every citizen to recognize their value and potentials. When individuals understand that they are the country's great asset, they become active contributors to national progress. The initiative is also a call for a self-projection, a reminder that every Nigerian must consciously represent who they are and what they stand for as the citizen of Nigeria.
National orientation. While you were speaking, you mentioned things about the NEL Fund, and I have a young man here who is at the forefront of national orientation about the activities and the works of this government. He's right here, a young guy. Please can we put our hands together for the cartoon boy? Cartoon boy, please can we applaud him? He's very vocal online, always talking about the work of this government, promoting national orientation, talking about the NEL Fund, showing people what is being done on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, spending his own money to push the message of the government. Please can we applaud him, please? And sir, I would like you to now return to your seat. We have just a 2-minute video about the competition. We've compiled those videos together for you to see and understand how we come about the prizes. Thank you very much.
Would like to thank His Excellency Mr. President and the Deputy President of the Senate. If media is ready, can we have the video, after which we'll have the final photo opportunity, and we have His Royal Highness and the Ambassador of Cuba and all those in the front row joining Mr. President for that final photograph in a short while. In the meantime, we congratulate everyone. Media, video, 2 minutes. The president, the deputy president of the Senate, and the representative of the president need to go. If the video is ready, can we show it like right now? Because the protocol is closing the window for showing
peace must breathe here, let it start from me. If leadership must rise, let it start from our homes. If patriotism must awaken, let it begin with the hands over in this poem and the hearts hearing it. You see, my nation is not a vehicle that carries only the government, so let us claim every anger and fear. And my hope lies in the hands that never rest, like the mechanic's hope, like a child's delicate dream, like a mother's midnight white prayers and the warm sweat of the youth chasing a future. My Nigeria is a bus that carries unity, and no one gets down until we arrive at the future we are brave enough to build, where every dusty road still dreams of becoming gold. And until she becomes the Nigeria we deserve, I will not sit. I will water her with my effort, lift her with courage, guard her with roots, and grow her with love. Because my Nigeria is not a story you narrate or a thing to blame. It is my home, our home, and I take my own responsibility. So help me God. My Nigeria is my responsibility. So if peace must breathe here, let it start from me. If leadership must rise, let it start from our homes. If patriotism must awaken, let it begin with the hands over in this poem and the hearts hearing it. You see, my nation is not a vehicle that carries only the government, so let us claim every anger and fear. And my hope lies in the hands that never rest, like the mechanic's hope, like a child's delicate dream, like a mother's midnight white prayers and the warm sweat of the youth chasing a future. My Nigeria is a bus that carries unity, and no one gets down until we arrive at the future we are brave enough to build, where every dusty road still dreams of becoming gold. And until she becomes the Nigeria we deserve, I will not sit. I will water her with my effort, lift her with courage, guard her with roots, and grow her with love. Because my Nigeria is not a story you narrate or a thing to blame. It is my home, our home, and I take my own responsibility. So help me God. My Nigeria is my responsibility.
Thank you very much. And that is the spoken word, the poetry from the poem from the winner of the competition. Please can we put our hands together for her? And with that, please permit me to invite Mr. President, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, and the Deputy Senate President of the 10th Assembly, and also the former chairman of the APC, and everybody on the front row, and His Royal Highness, please, Alhaji Adobayero, the second Kano, and the first son, and the Honorable Minister of Youth, to please join us for a group photograph. And while we're taking that picture, please permit me to invite Timi Dakolo one more time for a very short one for our special guest, Barrister Seyi Tinubu. And I've been informed that Mr. Aleno, on behalf of a textile company, will be making the payment of the 1 million naira cash prize to the winner. Thank you. Please, we'll take the national pledge as the dignitaries will take their leave. Thank you. The NYC band, let's take the national pledge as
Shay will read it.
thank you, the NYC band, thank you.
Read it.
Thank you, the NYC band. Thank you. We'll take the national pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Can I hear your amen? The program will continue. The program will continue as Timida Kolo takes the stage. Thank you.
As we draw this program to a close, the central message remains clear. Patriotism, responsible citizenship, are a choice we make every day. They reflects not just in words, but in consistent action that uphold our nation's value, strengthen our institution, and secure a future for generations to come. The program has reminded us that progress depends on both visionary leadership and active citizen engagement. When individuals, communities, and institutions embrace accountability, courage, and forward-thinking policies, the nation as a whole thrives. Let this call be to every Nigerian to rise, to participate, and to contribute meaningfully to the story of Nigeria. The collective responsibility today will determine the strength, unity, and prosperity of the nation. From the presidential villa in Abuja, I am Kike Lomo Okeri.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything you put your hand go walk, your name go open doors. You self you will be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand go walk, your name go open doors. You self you will be a boss. Amen, amen. Every hustler gets it today. Where the hustle go come the day, your only number take. Amen, amen. If you ever walk to your own, God said go do it all, and flesh will cover bone. Amen, amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. Oh, amen. Try to smile. Everything you put your hand, you never open doors. You said no be a boss. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand, you never open doors. You said no be a boss. Amen, amen. Since I was one Pharisees, I see where they find the key. One day you go watches. Amen, amen. Tell them we don't lose the job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen, amen. Good news go locate you. Then we see in hotel. If you believe me, say amen. Amen, amen. Everything you put your hand on, you never open doors. You said go be a boss. Bella, everything you put your hand on. Everybody, you never open doors. You said go be a boss. One more. Long life will follow you. Strangers go favor you. Great men go honor you. Amen. Amen. One day you will sign that check. You self go drive that vessel. This life will still make sense. Amen. Amen. One day you will sign the check. You too go drive that vessel. This life will still make sense. Amen. You self will still. Bad people not go pull you down. One day you will run this down. Amen. Amen. You say go spray me money. Baby go call you honey. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. NYSC. Say everything you put your heart. Your name go open door. You go be a boss. Yeah, leave that mic off for a while. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.
All right. Please, I just want to inform you that we've got raffle draw. 20 winners are going to get 500,000 naira for their business support. 20 winners will get 500,000 naira each for their business support. 10 lucky winners are going home with laptops. 10 lucky winners are going home with laptops. And 10 lucky winners are also going to get scholarship. 10 lucky winners are getting scholarship, academic scholarship, courtesy Inspire Academy. And 20 lucky winners are going home with iPads. 20 iPads. So those who have left, don't worry. You that you are here, you might be one of the lucky winners. Please, we'd like you all to be seated. Please, we'd love you all to be seated. Please, we'd love you all to be seated. All right. Please, can we get the tickets for the raffle, please? Please, we'd like you to be seated.